Namaskaram. I am Mallikarjun, Senior Faculty Physics, Telangana Residential Junior College from Gawlidaddi. So today's my topic is classical magnetism. So classical magnetism describes the magnetic field formed by a magnet, magnetic lines of forces, magnetic flux. So here magnet. But what is a magnet? Magnet means here attracts the object. There are so many magnets observed in our daily life. So on this table, see the type of the different type of magnets. One is here bar magnet. So one is the bar magnet here, and the second one triangular magnets. This one is a triangular magnet, and a disc magnet, and this one is a horseshoe magnet. So horseshoe magnet means here U type of magnets. But how do you know this is a magnet? Let you take this is a magnet or not. If I take that the another magnet, it not attracts towards each other or repel towards each other. So this is not a magnetic material. So the type of magnets are horseshoe magnets, disc magnets, triangular magnets, and bar magnets. So now one experiment. From this point, here you take a bar magnet. I am taking, this is a small iron pieces. The small iron pieces. Now I am taking here in these 2 points what you observed from this experiment. What you observed from this experiment. See, the iron pieces all are attracts ends of the bar magnet only. Iron pieces attracts ends of the bar magnets only. Is there an attraction along its bar magnets? No. That means in case of a bar magnet, the attractive power at ends of the bar magnet only. Now here discuss here one point, it is a pole. What is a pole? Pole is a point where attractive power is maximum from this experiment. Attractive power is maximum from this experiment. But here how much attracts? That means to measure a physical quantity is called pole strength. So now I am starting that classical magnetism. So in case of a bar magnet, here maximum attractive power at the end of the bar magnet. So here at one particular point only here maximum attractive power. This point is called pole. Here the another pole is also there. Here 2 poles have this bar magnet. So in this case how much attracts? To measure a physical quantity is called magnetic pole strength. This magnetic pole strength denoted by M. But some of the books here denoted that here QM also. That means here Q, you know that here charge. There is a relation between the charge and magnetic. So in case of a charge is revolving in a circular path, the magnetic field is developed along the axis of this coil. So therefore here the charge and magnetic field, so these 2 notations in this magnetic pole strength. So in this topic I am using the notation of the magnetic pole strength here M. So now you understood that the maximum attractive power of a pole. So every bar magnet having that 2 poles. Next one, the bar magnet here, is it possible the attractive power is not exactly end points. Not exactly at end points. A small inside the end point of this bar magnet. Small end points in the bar magnet. So in this case, a line joining between the 2 poles. A line joining between the 2 poles is called magnetic length. It is denoted 2L. So the another physical quantity, magnetic length, denoted here 2L. So the line joining between the 2 poles. Shortest distance between the 2 poles here is called magnetic length. So the another length of a bar magnet, the end points of a bar magnet. The end points of a bar magnet here represents geometric length. So here geometric length, magnetic length, these two are not equal. So magnetic length is equal to 7 by 8 times of geometric length. So magnetic length is a shortest length between the south and north pole. It represents the shortest distance, means it is a vector. Then what about the direction of this magnetic length? See here a bar magnet here suspends. In case of a freely falling, it represents in one particular direction. So one of the pole represents in the direction of geographic north, another one represents geographic south. So here in this bar magnet, geographic north and geographic south. So here two poles are there. Two poles means south pole and north pole. So in terms of the charge, positive charge, magnetic charge, negative magnetic charge. So the shortest distance between the south and north pole is called magnetic length. It is a vector quantity. So here magnetic pole strength represents the attractive power of a pole. So it is a scalar quantity. So the unit of pole strength is ampere into meter, and the dimension formula here A into L. The next one, what is the total attractive power of the magnet? Here attractive power of a point and attractive power of the magnet. So in this case, you take that here bar magnet, two poles, the distance between the south and north pole, here magnetic length, here L and L, 2L. So the total attractive power is called magnetic moment. It is denoted by capital M. Simply say that it is a total attraction power of the bar magnet. Total attractive power means it is a product of pole strength and the length of the magnet. So what length here? Magnetic length only. So here the magnetic length is a vector. So pole strength is a scalar. A scalar multiply a vector gives a vector quantity. So magnetic moment is a vector in the direction of magnetic length. Magnetic length always in the direction of south pole of a bar magnet to north pole of a bar magnet. Okay, fine. Now we are discussing about some model problems on pole strength, magnetic length and magnetic moment. So pole strength M, small m, magnetic length 2L and magnetic moment M. So the first model problems. Suppose a bar magnet cut along its axial line. If it is a cut along its axial line, so see this end point of the bar magnet here half part. So its new magnetic moment is dash. So in this case here M is equal to pole strength into magnetic length. This half part slice along its one part, that is axis passing through the south and north pole. So the each piece of magnetic moment is. So in this case the point divided 2 points. So pole strength here half, but this piece magnetic length remains constant. So I am taking here 2L. What about the magnetic moment? You know that here magnetic moment is equal to product of pole strength and length of the magnet. So therefore its new magnetic moment is here m by 2 into 2L. So therefore magnetic moment is half. So next one, suppose a bar magnet here cut along its perpendicular length, and if it is two equal parts, then this part magnetic moment is. So in this case this point is remains the same. So pole strength remains constant, but magnetic length is halved. So magnetic length is half means here 2L by 2. Its new magnetic moment is equal to, so pole strength and 2L by 2. So magnetic moment is M by 2. Next one, suppose if the bar magnet here cut along its length and perpendicular to its length also. So here how many identical pieces? Here 4 pieces. So in this case this point divided into 2 parts. So therefore here M by 2. And the length of the bar magnet is also half. So therefore here 2L by 2. So therefore its new magnetic moment is equal to here M by 2 into here 2L by 2. Its new magnetic moment is 1/4 of its magnetic moment. So from this concept, here bar magnet here cut along its axial line. What is axial line? Here the term is axial line means a line joining between the 2 poles. A line joining between the 2 poles is called axial line. A line joining here passing through the center of the bar magnet and perpendicular to its length is called equatorial line. Now the bar magnet slices here along its equatorial line and along its axial line n number of parts. Assume here along axial line x parts. Its new magnetic moment is equal to, so here pole strength by x times, but the length remains constant. Its new magnetic moment is M by x. Along its equatorial line, pole strength remains constant and the length 2L by, if it is a y times 2L by y, its new magnetic moment is M by y. So similarly here if it is slice here y parts along its equatorial line and x parts along its axial line, so M by x 2L by y, its new magnetic moment is here M by x into y. So this is a one model problem on here pole strength, length and magnetic moment. But here one doubt is there. So see the generally here length means here L only. Why should we consider the 2L? Why should we consider the 2L? That means you take that here a bar magnet. Now I am taking here maximum attractive power. So it is one, and the second one the maximum attractive power. So the another one is also attracted. But is there any attractive at this position? You take the small piece. You take that at any small position? No, no attraction power. So in case of the bar magnet, the magnetic intensity or magnetic induction intensity at this position 0, but end points is maximum. So from this point here 0 magnetic induction. This is a 0 magnetic induction. And as the distance increases from one end of the magnet, here maximum. So say here one pole. So from the other side also here maximum attractive power here L. So therefore the magnetic length here represented to L. And one more point. Let us you take a bar man. Asking one question. Let us you take a one is a bar. So it is not a magnet. And another one is a magnet. If it is placed like this, then what happens? Is it attracts, repels, or it is in the same position? Suppose the same two bars, if it is a reversed, that means instead of here bar, you take magnet. Another one is a bar. Then what happens? What about what you observed from this experiment? So here 2 points. One is bar, another one is a bar magnet. So let us you take a bar magnet is placed like this, and a bar is placed at this position. Then what happens? Here attracts, repels, are in the same position. But the same point, if the bar is placed here and the bar magnet is in the vertical view, then here attracts, repels, and the same position. So see. Okay. ఇలాగ తుట్టు పేస్ట్ చేస్తారు తుట్టు పైన So say here it is a bar. I have a bar pin or a non-magnetic material. If it is placed at the midpoint, there is no attraction. Okay. If it is touches also, there is no attraction. But if the same lighter one body he has placed on horizontal table, now I am taking a bar magnet here placed, then what happened here? Attracts. That means from this experiment to conclusion, the magnetic attractive power is at end points only, not at midpoint. So here the attractive power is equal to 0. So 0 magnetic field. So here the attractive power is maximum, so then it easily attracts. There is no attraction between these two bar magnets and magnetic position. So here this first position there is no attraction, and in the second position here attraction. Okay, fine. The next model problem on magnets. Let you take this one is a, assume this is a bar magnet. This is a, assume a bar magnet. If I bent in the form of V shape, it is a bent in the form of V shape, then what about its new magnetic moment? If it is a bent in the form of V shape, then what about its new magnetic moment? Suppose the same bar magnet bent in the form of arc like this. Suppose if it is a circle, the same bar magnet bent in the form of arc, then its new magnetic moment is. See, in these two cases, here the south pole and north pole, here two poles, the end points of the bar magnet remains constant. Yes? Okay, so therefore, pole strength remains constant in these two cases. Here, magnetic length changes. What is the magnetic length? Here this is a magnetic length. It is a magnetic length? No, it is a geometric length only. Magnetic length means the shortest distance between the two poles. So, in this case, the shortest distance between the two poles means this. Let the x and 2x is the shortest distance between the two poles. So, the magnetic length here changes. From this diagram, it is a 2x. Then what about its new magnetic moment? Its new magnetic moment is equal to, you know that it is a product of pole strength and length of the magnet. So, m into 2x. But in a problem, here x is not given. This is the assumption length only. What about the actual length of the bar magnet? L. So, if it is a stretched, the magnetic moment initially m is equal to small m into 2L. If it is a bent in the form of V shape, the magnetic length changes, its new magnetic moment is equal to small m into 2x. Now, this x converts in terms of this L. So, you take here a line. So, this V shape, suppose if it is a makes an angle theta at its center. So, at this position at midpoint, this theta bisect theta by 2. So, from this point, this horizontal, this is x and L, and this part represents here theta by 2. So, this theta x is opposite side of this theta by 2. So, from this point, here x is equal to L sin theta by 2. So, its new magnetic moment is here m into 2L sin theta by 2. So, therefore, its new magnetic moment is initial magnetic moment into sin theta by 2. So, the question is, suppose if it is bent in the form of, if the bar magnet bent in the form of 60 degrees or bent in the form of 90 degrees or the bar magnet bent in the form of 120 degrees or bent in the form of straight line. So, here three different modal problems. Maybe here n number of problems from this concept, 60 degrees, 90 degrees and 120 degrees. So, from this point, its new magnetic moment is here m dash is equal to initial magnet of the moment m and sin 60 by 2 30. So, that is equal to half, and initial magnetic moment m. So, in this case, if it is bent in the form of a 90 degrees, sin 90 by 2 45. So, here m by root 2. If it is a 120 degrees, sin 60, so its initial magnetic moment m into sin 60 value root 3 by 2. So, from this experiment, from this point, if it is a bent, here magnetic moment increases or decreases? Pole strength remains constant, magnetic length changes. So here magnetic moment decreases. Why it is decreases? Because the magnetic length decreases, so magnetic moment decreases. So coming to the another one, if it is a bent in the form of arc, then what happened? Then what about its new magnetic moment? Such that if it is bent in the form of arc, it makes an angle theta at its center of the circle. So here r is the radius of the circle. So here also magnetic length changes. Magnetic length means the shortest distance between the two poles. So assume here 2x is magnetic length. But is there any magnetic changes? No, it is a constant m only. But length is equal to 2x. So therefore, its new magnetic moment is equal to, here m dash is equal to, here m into, from this diagram, here represents that 2x. But what is x? Again here divided into two parts. So if it is bisects, this angle is theta by 2. Here x is equal to r sin theta by 2. So its new magnetic moment, here m into, here 2 into r sin theta by 2. But what is r? Radius of the circle. But not given in a problem. A bar magnet of magnetic moment m. What is m? The pole strength into length of the magnet. It is bent in the form of arc such that it makes an angle theta at its center. So its new magnetic moment is m into 2r sin theta by 2. But r is not given now. So here r converts in terms of length of the magnet. So here r is radius of the circle, the length of the magnet is 2l. What is the relation between the length of the arc and radius? Yes, it's 2l is equal to, length of the r is equal to r theta. Length of the arc is equal to, so r into theta. So here r is equal to 2l by theta. So it's m into 2. Instead of r, you take here 2l by theta into sin theta by 2. So its new magnetic moment is equal to, here m into 2l. So initial magnetic moment, here sin theta by 2 by theta. Okay, fine. So in this case, so here theta, here theta value only radians only, SI units radians only. Same thing here, the bar magnet bent in the form of arc such that it makes an angle 60 degrees. If it is a 120 degree, 180 degrees means here semicircular arc. Or if it is a 120 degrees, then its new magnetic moment is, if it is a 60, so the new magnetic moment is equal to, here m dash is equal to 2m sin 60 by 2, 30, that is equal to 1 by 2, theta is in radians. So therefore here pi by 3, so here 3m by pi. If it is a bent in the form of 180 degrees, its new magnetic moment is, here m dash is equal to 2m, here 180 degrees, sin 180 by 2, 91, here theta is in radians. So you take here pi value, so 2m by pi. Similarly, if it is a 120, find out its new magnetic moment. Okay? But in these cases also, the length changes. So it is a previous entrance question. A bar magnet bent in the form of arc, it makes an angle 60 degrees, its new magnetic moment. But most of the students here learning this part, here m dash is equal to 2m into 1 by 2 pi by 3 or 3m by pi. But here or otherwise you know the 2m sin theta by 2 by theta. But first of all, student learn how to get this equation, so that in another competitive examination or coming competitive examination, maybe it is a 60 degrees, maybe 180 degrees, maybe 120 degrees or any other part. Okay? So now here the first model and second model, the bar magnets here pole strength same. But if it is a cut and the second one is a bent, suppose you take that 2 or 3 magnets, 2 or 3 bar magnets are combined, then what about the resultant magnetic moment? So that means the resultant magnetic moment of the bar magnets. So bar magnetic moment is a vector or scalar? It is a vector. It is a
vector quantity. So in this case, here one fundamental law, parallelogram law of vector addition. Suppose here two vectors, here m1 and m2. The angle between the two vectors is theta. Then what about the resultant magnetic moment? The resultant magnetic moment is according to parallelogram law of vector addition. So you know that here m1 square plus m2 square plus here 2m1 m2 cos theta. What is theta? The angle between the two vectors. So the resultant magnetic moment is in the direction of, you know that here tan inverse of here m2 sin theta by here m1 plus m2 cos theta. Here alpha represents the resultant magnetic moment with m1. So that means, see the diagram here, m2 and m1, two magnets. The resultant angle between these two vectors is theta. The resultant magnetic moment is mr with m1, here alpha is the angle. If m2 is absent, then resultant magnetic moment is in the direction of m1. If m1 is absent, the resultant magnetic moment is in the direction of m2. If these two are equal, the resultant magnetic moment is bisect. Bisect means here alpha is equal to theta by 2. Here condition, if the two bar magnets are equal. So m1 is equal to m2. Here m1 is equal to n2. Then what about the resultant magnetic moment? From this point, here mr is equal to, so by solving this equation, you know that here 2m square plus 2m square into cos theta. So here 2m square is common, 1 plus cos theta. So therefore here 2m, here cos theta by 2. Then what about the direction here? Alpha is equal to theta by 2. So here this is a vector addition. Now I am taking here different combination of this bar magnets are combined in the form of here theta. Suppose here two bar magnets, south to north and south pole to north pole. Here two bar magnets, here m1 and m2. See here angle between the two vectors m1, m2 when the like poles are in contact each other. So therefore the angle between the bar magnets and the angle between the vectors, these two are same. So therefore the resultant magnetic moment is root of m1 square plus m2 square plus 2m1 m2 cos theta. If these two are identical bar magnets, the resultant magnetic moment is 2m cos theta by 2. Then what about the direction here? It is, if it is these two are identical, exactly bisect the two bar magnets. Now in a previous entrance question, the problem is, let you take here two bar magnets are arranged as shown in the diagram. So as shown in this diagram, see the slide, see in the AIPMT exam, following figure shows the arrangement of bar magnet in different configurations. Each magnet has magnetic dipole moment is m. Which configuration has highest net magnetic dipole moment? See in the first diagram, here one is north and south, south and north. So these two are like poles are in contact. And the second one, south to north, the another part here unlike poles are in contact. That means here north and south. And the third one, here like poles are in contact, but the angle is 30 degrees south to north and south to north. And the fourth one, here 60 degrees. So which one has a more magnetic induction? So you know that the resultant magnetic moment here, all are here identical bar magnets. So m1 is equal to m2. The resultant magnetic moment depends on this theta. Resultant magnetic moment depends on this theta. So therefore here cos theta by 2. What about the theta here? 90 degrees. What about the cos 90 value? 0. So therefore, so resultant magnetic moment is equal to 0. And here the first vector south to north and south to north. These two are anti-parallel. So here theta is equal to 180. Here cos 180 by 2. Cos 180 by 2 means here cos 90 is equal to 0. Here cos theta by 2. That means here cos 90 by 2. Cos 45 means here 1 by root 2 times. 1 by root 2 times. Here 30. Cos 30 by 2 and cos 60 by 2. So in case of the theta is equal to here 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. Then what about the cos theta value? Cos 0, 1. Cos 30 value, root 3 by 2. Cos 60 value, 1 by 2. Cos 90 value, 1. Here all are identical bar magnets. The resultant magnetic moment depends on this theta. So here the theta value here increases, then the magnetic moment is increases. So in the question is, which one is having maximum magnetic moment means here theta is equal to 90. So therefore here 30 degrees, 60 degrees means here these two are like poles. So cos 60. See the cos 60 by 2. Cos 30. Cos 30 value root 3 by 2, it's new magnetic moment, right? Next one. So its new magnetic moment is equal to 2m into root 3 by 2. So new magnetic moment is equal to root 3 times of m. Here new magnetic moment is equal to m dash is equal to 2m into cos 30 by 2. Here its new magnetic moment is equal to 0. Here its new magnetic moment is equal to, so here 2m into cos 90 by 2, 1 by root 2. So therefore m by root 2. So here which one is here more magnetic moment here? Root 3 times of m. Or simply say that here the theta value increases, cos theta value increases, the resultant magnetic moment is increases. So the answer is fourth option. Next one, here two magnets only. But if you take the consider that more than two vectors, that means here more than two magnets. The more than two magnets are combined in the form of a polygon. So now here consider that three vectors, three magnets. Next one, you take that four identical bar magnets. Suppose if you consider that here 6 bar magnets, all are identical bar magnets. And arranged such that taken in order. See here first bar magnet south to north. So magnetic moment is identical na, so you take that m. And the second bar magnet. So you are taken in order. That means here south to north, magnetic moment of the second bar magnet is m2, and here south to north, magnetic moment of the third bar magnet is here m. So m1, m2, m3 all are identical means same magnetic moment. Then what about the resultant magnetic moment? Similarly arranged in 4 magnets and 6 magnets are n vectors. So in this case here south to north, here south to north, same thing here south to north and south to north. Here simply say that here first magnet and second magnet, these two are in anti-parallel. Resultant magnetic moment is cancel to each other. Similarly, here second magnet and the fourth magnet, these two are in cancel to each other. So the resultant magnetic moment is 0. So if you consider that at one particular point, the first magnet here m, second magnet m2, and the third magnet left side, and the fourth magnet here m4. So in the first diagram, the first bar magnet, I am drawing a vector, so parallel vector, so here m1, and the second bar magnet. So what is the angle between these two vectors? If it is in equilateral triangle, this one is a 120 degrees. So second bar magnet m2, 120, and the third bar magnet, so the angle between the second bar magnet and third bar magnet vectors, angle between the two magnets is 60. Angle between the two vectors 120 degrees. So here 120, 120 and 120. See in this case, in these two cases, suppose here all are identical. So here m1 and m2 and m3. You know that a parallelogram law of vector addition. So if it is 120 degrees, if it is the second one and third one is 120 degrees, equal vectors, the resultant vector is in the direction of here bisect the second one and third one. Then what about the net magnetic moment here? M. You know that here equal vectors, that is m2 is equal to m3 and the theta is equal to 120 degrees. So therefore, the resultant of second one and third one is m. Then what about the direction? Here exactly bisect. Bisect means here 60 degrees with one. So from this point, here the magnetic moment m and the m1 is also m. These two are in opposite direction. Here resultant magnetic moment equal to 0. Similarly, in case of here 4 magnets are arranged such that the resultant magnetic moment here, if it is identical, if these are identical, then resultant magnetic moment is equal to 0. Here not only here all are identical. See, here m1 is equal to m3, say here 10 ampere meter square, and another one is m2 and m4. If these two are opposite direction, say here 20 ampere meter square. All are not identical, but the opposite magnetic moments are identical, so the resultant magnetic moment is 0. So from this concept, you know that the n polygon law of vector addition. What is n law of polygon law of vector addition? N vectors taken in order magnitude and direction in the form of a closed polygon. Then what about the resultant? 0. So therefore here 3 vectors and 4 vectors, here n vectors, the resultant magnetic moment is equal to 0. Now the question is, suppose if one of the bar magnet is removed. Suppose in this case here one bar magnet is removed, first m1 is removed, then here the magnetic moment m2, another one is a m3. Is there any bar magnet? No. How many magnets are there here? 2. So therefore the resultant magnetic moment is, if it is a 120 degrees, the resultant magnetic moment here mr is equal to m only. Same thing here also. If I remove that any one of the bar magnet, say if I remove that first bar magnet, this m1, see here m2 and m3, m4 cancel to each other. Here only one vector, that resultant magnetic moment is equal to m. From these examples, if n identical vectors, or that means bar magnets, arranged in the form of a polygon, the resultant magnetic moment is 0, taken in order. That is important one. And next point, if I one bar magnet removed, the resultant magnetic moment is m. And the another condition, if it is a removed, I am taking a reversed order. Reversed order means, so in this case, see in this case, if m1 is removed, reverse order means here north pole and south pole. Then magnetic moment of this part here s to n. So instead of here right side direction, this bar magnet is in left side direction. So the resultant magnetic moment, see here, the resultant magnetic moment of here 2 and 3, the resultant angle between these two 120 degrees m, and the first bar magnet resultant magnetic moment is m. So therefore the resultant of this system is equal to 2m. Similarly, here m1 if it is in reverse direction, so therefore here m2 same position vector, and m3 is also same position magnetic moment, m4 is also same position. But this magnet, so instead of here south to north, here if it is reversed, that means here north and south, then magnetic moment of this position here m1. If all are identical, so these two are cancelled, the resultant magnetic moment is equal to 2m. So in this case, if it is a n bar magnets are arranged in the form of order in n 3 vectors, 4 vectors or n vectors arranged in order, the resultant magnetic moment is 0. If one of the magnet is removed, the resultant magnetic moment is m. If the magnet is reversed, the magnetic moment is 2m. Okay. The next one, see bar magnets over. Now you take that here bar magnet on table. So in this case, let us you take any one of the iron piece is nearer to the bar magnet, then attracts. But is it possible this iron piece is, if the iron piece is far from this point, if the iron piece is far from this point, is there any attracts? No. If it is moving towards at one particular point, then it attracts. That means here the bar magnet here the influence in one particular region. This bar magnet influence in one particular region. So that field is called magnetic field. So now I am discussing about that magnetic field. So that means the space around a magnet which influence the magnet is called here magnetic field. So that means here let us you take a pole of pole strength m. So here influences in one particular region, right? Now you take that the second pole of pole strength here m2 is placed and separated by a distance r. Then what happens if these two are unlike poles? Say here this is south pole and north pole. So the m2 attracts by this m1 because of the m2 is in this field. The how much force is acts on the second particle, second pole by the first pole F21. So the same amount of force acting on the first pole by the second one, because of due to the m2 pole the field is formed, the m1 is placed at this position, the force experienced on the first pole by the second one here F12. So these two forces. So in this case here one Coulomb's law. So here the force, this is the force. If you consider that unlike poles attractive force, like poles a repulsive force. So therefore the attraction or repulsive force is directly proportional to product of pole strengths and the inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So here F is equal to 1 proportionality constant into m1 m2 by r square. So in this case this is a constant and this part represents that force. But force is a vector in which direction? So the force is acts along the straight line joining between the two poles. Say I am here m1 pole and m2 pole. Here the force is acting along the straight line joining between the two vectors. So therefore here magnitude of this force. So in vector form this force F is equal to here constant into here m1 m2 by here r square here r cap. What is r cap? It is a unit vector in the direction of m12 and m21. So from this concept these two magnitude forces are equal. That means here F12 is equal to F21. Then what about the direction? Opposite to each other. So then you take that minus. So if you take the two poles, the force act on the first pole by the second one, the force act on the second pole by the first one, these two are equal force and opposite direction from this Coulomb's law. Now we are discussing about that constant. So in some other vector form here r cube, how it is possible r cube? Constant into m1 m2 by, if you consider that vector position from 1 and 2, so here r bar, that means here consider that r cube. So this is a vector form of this Coulombic force. Now we are discussing about that proportionality constant. Let you take the two poles are placed in one particular medium, say here air, same distance. The same poles same distance in another medium, free space. The same poles and same distance in another medium. So here the three mediums, the force, these forces are not equal. Why? But according to this rule, here same magnetic pole strengths, magnitude of the pole strengths and same distance. That means this proportionality constant is constant in one particular medium. So in one particular medium, distance increases, force decreases. Distance decreases, force increases. If the magnitude of the poles increases, force increases. But the same poles, same distance changes in another medium, this constant is not a constant. So here this constant in free space, here free space or air, that is equal to here mu naught by 4 pi. So this is a constant which influence the exist force between the two poles. So here this value is 10 to the power of minus 7, mu naught by 4 pi value 10 to the power of minus 7 SI units. So Newton, here ampere into meter, so meter square. So here Newton per ampere square. So in this case important physical quantity in magnetism, that is permeability. So permeability and this constant changes to this medium. That means permeability means it is a property of a medium. It is a property of a medium which influence the exist force between the two poles is called permeability of medium. So in free space the mu naught by 4 pi value is constant. In a medium the k value is equal to mu by 4 pi. Now here the another physical quantity relative permeability of the medium. It is a ratio of permeability of the free space to permeability of the medium. So that is equal to, it is a ratio of the two similar physical quantity, ratio of the two similar physical quantity. So in this case no units and no dimensions. So here magnetic field from this point here Coulomb's law. So here force experience between the two magnetic poles. So from this point a concept developed here, field. Let you take here the bar magnet, the field influenced in surrounding region, then here attracts. But here how much attracts means if it is a nearer to 1, here maximum attractive force. Far from this bar magnet here minimum attraction. So in this case a physical quantity to represents the field strength is called magnetic field, magnetic induction. And what is a magnetic induction? It is denoted B. So due to a pole a magnetic field is formed, right? So let us you take this is a pole and a test pole. Let you take a test pole of pole strength m naught, and this one is a north pole is placed at this position at point P. Then so due to this pole this force experienced on this north pole. But what about the direction? Here attracts or repels depending on this pole. So say here this is north pole, I am taking here this is also north pole, then the unit north pole deflects away from this north pole. So therefore the first point here magnetic induction means the force experienced on a unit north pole at a point in unit magnetic field is called magnetic induction at that point. So from this point here the force experienced, if it is a F, so this F bar is equal to m into B bar. What is m? Unit north pole. It is a scalar quantity. So from this point the magnetic induction B bar is equal to here F bar by here m naught. It is in the direction of the force. Now here the one term, let you take here magnetic field. Is there an observed magnetic field? No. So therefore you take the imaginary lines of this field. So if you consider the here north pole and a unit north pole is placed, repelled. A unit north pole is placed, repelled. Here unit north pole is placed, repelled. So repelled means so it is a deflected in all directions. So therefore these are imaginary lines are called magnetic lines of forces. So in this north pole the lines are diverges. Similarly you take a south pole. A unit north pole is placed, then what happened here? Converges, attractive force. So here converges. If it is a converges, the imaginary lines, these are here imaginary lines here converges due to the south pole. So the lines of forces north and south poles. But what about the direction means? Suppose you take a bar magnet here south and north pole, and unit north pole is placed. It is deflected and attracted by the south pole. So here also you are deflected and attracted by the south pole. So these are imaginary lines. So these lines are called magnetic lines of forces. So due to a bar magnet, magnetic lines as shown in the diagram here diverges, the lines are here converges. But what is the use of these magnetic lines of forces? Let you take at this position. What about the magnetic field? See here due to the south pole here repel. Due to the, so here unit north pole is placed, so repel, and due to the south pole of this bar magnet here attracts. So here two fields are there, two forces are there. The resultant field is in this direction. So therefore the resultant field That means at any point on the magnetic line of force, a tangent be drawn. It represents the direction of the magnetic field. Now here in this case, here let us take a unit area. Here also the same unit area. But at the end of the bar magnets, more lines are passes. So therefore, the field is maximum where the number of lines are more. Here the field is minimum where the number of lines are minimum. Let us take a U-shaped bar magnet. U-shaped bar magnet, so the magnetic lines are here equal and parallel to each other. So therefore, uniform magnetic field means these lines are here parallel and equal distance. So in this case, here the magnetic lines are here outside. But what about the inside? Inside also here south to north pole. So therefore, the magnetic lines are closed loops. The magnetic lines are closed loops. Now in this case, here the number of lines passing through per unit area and the number of lines passing through given area. I am taking here one particular area, the number of lines are passes. These lines, the number of lines passing given area is called flux. So it is also called magnetic flux. But the number of lines passing through per unit area, if it is the area changes, magnetic field also changes. So here magnetic induction, it is also called flux density. So here the important direction of the magnetic field. See in bar magnet, south and north pole, a unit north pole is placed at the end point. Then what about the direction here? Repulsion. Next one, it is a closed point, so again it come back and again here converges. So when it is at this position at the exactly end point, then what about the direction from north to south pole? So here this part represents that axial line and the second one represents that equatorial line. So the direction of magnetic field, the direction of the magnetic field at a point on the axial line is south to north. The direction of the magnetic field at a point on an equatorial line here represents in the direction of here north to south. So here these two directions are very important to solve the any problem here magnetic field due to a bar magnet. So next one here B, magnetic induction, force experienced on a unit north pole. Then here if it is separated by a distance r. So therefore from Coulomb's law here F is equal to constant into here m naught by r square by m naught. So here B is equal to here k into m by r square. What is the difference between these two equations? See in uniform magnetic field or in any magnetic field, a unit pole strength is placed, the force experienced, so magnetic field at that point is equal to F by m naught. But at the same point in a problem, m naught is not given. Suppose here m pole is given, the field is formed at a distance r, the same point P, magnetic field is equal to constant into m by r square. Here constant is equal to mu by here 4 pi r square. Here magnetic induction due to a pole. The next part here magnetic induction due to a bar magnet. Bar magnet means here along the axial line and along the equatorial line. So that we will discuss in the next part. So the total episode here during this short interval of time to cover the magnets and magnetic fields and magnetic induction due to a pole only. Okay, thank you very much.